Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here, and it has been an absolutely insane week for cryptocurrencies, for the dollar, for the stock market, and I'm going to go into crypto today because there is so much to talk about. A lot of people are saying it's crashing, this is the end, and let me tell you, it's not, it's just the beginning. And we'll go into that and more today, including some cryptos that are actually doing well despite the massive bloodbath we are currently seeing in the market. As this Bloomberg opinion article came out several days ago, it says how crypto billionaires will transform philanthropy. Traditional causes may recede as a newly wealthy focus on weird standalone projects. And that's the thing. They call it weird, but it's just people not trying to extort the masses for their own gain. It's decentralized, and this is one of the most beautiful parts about all these libertarians and anarcho-capitalists that are suddenly getting rich off of cryptocurrency. It's an amazing thing that I saw to a smaller degree in 2017, and it's interesting especially because these people all started off, like Bitcoin started off on the Ron Paul forums years ago. And so those are the people that got in the earliest, and those are the people that are doing the best. Bitcoin crashes below $50,000 to critical support. Now, we've seen a bit of a bounce off the support now, between $46,000 and $48,000 per Bitcoin. That is usually where we saw the resistance last time, and this time around, it crashed right through its resistance level at 55 all the way down. And I actually think this is a good thing. I've seen this so many times, and this shows Ethereum as well. I've seen this so many times in the past throughout 2017. Oh, there's Peter Schiff again to say Bitcoin's dead like he did at $1. I've seen this so many times before. We saw crashes that were almost 50% in 2017 on the way up to 20,000. Now that was a bubble that was completely collapsed by institutional investors as well. But here we see CoinGecko, Bitcoin's price. You see everything's in the red. In fact, it's brutal, but on the hour, it's kind of up. But you see a lot more of a jump in Ethereum overall since the bottom than you do Bitcoin. Ethereum is being used more and more as an excellent infrastructure to base things on, except for the fees. The fees are insane. I've been seeing $100 fees on Ethereum and $90 fees on Bitcoin to send simple transactions. It's time we admit that some things are not meant for simple transactions. You could say Bitcoin and Ethereum are awesome, and they are, but they're not for specific things like moving money. And people say, oh, it's a security function. It isn't. It's terrible. It makes people want to use Binance and Polkadot and things like Bitcoin Cash. So we see VE chain has picked up quite a bit in the last hour, 1.6% up. But we'll get into some really big ones that have just blown up and made a lot of people that are good, privacy-oriented, free market, freedom-thinking individuals and truthers make a lot of money in the last couple of days. I wrote this earlier on Twitter. I know a crypto crash when I see it. I've been in many. This isn't one of them. This is a major correction after testing supports. If Bitcoin doubles or triples in a couple of weeks, that is my signal to sell. It always has been. That is a bubble. We've seen so much safety and security between 45 and 60, where it's just flatlined and barely moved, and then it's just bounced between each other and really established this resistance level. And I think that's better than shooting through the roof every single month. It's not healthy for any kind of investment, and in fact is extremely dangerous. And we'll go into that more with the smaller caps after, but it's funny because this is exactly how I feel. 2021, Bitcoin noob. Guys just freaking out and shaking. What's going on? This is insane. And there's a class of 2016. Yeah, seriously. I've seen this enough times to not worry at all when I see all red, especially even at 10% all red, because we didn't blow through crazy resistance levels at 1000x before this happened. It was rather a safe move into the red. So I'm not worried about it at all. Bitcoin is very volatile. So are other cryptocurrencies that comes with the investment. Cointelegraph has this article, analyst enters 32.5K Bitcoin order as hodlers bet on 46K Bitcoin price bottom. And you know, this is the thing. institutional investors are still getting in. We're seeing people put billions of dollars into Bitcoin at $60,000. And after contemplating buying Bitcoin for years in some cases, I'm still confident that we will see 100K Bitcoin by the end of the year easily. And in fact, it might move real fast in the next couple of months. We'll see how we recover from this massive dip. But at the same time, some things are doing very well despite everything. Pirate Chain, look at this, $16.09, 114% up in the last 24 hours. And this moved from all the way down at like 12 cents just a couple months ago. If I expand the 180-day chart here, just look at that. This is ridiculous. In March 8th, 2021, it was at 3 cents. March 25th, it was at 2.8 cents. Or 33 cents and then 28 cents. And then we see this move up to April 11th and April 12th. We see it at $2. And that's when I started really paying attention to Pirate. And now we've seen all these jumps. Everyone says it's the end. It's like Doge, but it's actually a useful cryptocurrency. It's a privacy-oriented cryptocurrency based on a bunch of the people who did Komodo, which was an excellent project that I've met the creator of on a few occasions and hung out with. Good guy. And I've just watched this thing blow up to a market cap of $2.8 billion today, where I was talking about 1 billion, I think yesterday. And it could easily see $50 in the next couple of weeks. So I'm just putting that out there. I'm not investment advice, but at least this is something noble. No one's talking about this. It's not trending on any of the platforms. None of the platforms want to talk about it because it's brutally privacy oriented. And for that reason, a lot of people are worried about the controversy of privacy oriented cryptocurrencies. It's already up to 1611 as I've been talking here, 118.6% in the last day, and 140% versus Bitcoin. I mean, this is, I just think this has incredible potential to possibly even flip Monero, the #1 privacy coin, because it's honestly, from what I've seen, better than Monero, though we'll find out. People are mostly trading it on Trade Ogre and Bitcoin.com, as there's problems right now with CoinX and a few other, or I think it's like SiteX or something that's been having issues with it. Anyway, so I'll go into Pirate Chain more in the future. I know many people in independent media are talking about it because it's nice to see something blow up that is actually meant for privacy purposes, especially versus these vaccine passports and the fear of people being tracked on a technocratic system, the centrally planned cashless society, brought along on this train ride to the gulag via social credit, vaccine passports, cashless bank accounts that are completely cashless, so you can't touch it. If you can't take it out, this is a bank in your pocket, folks. That's a difference. Decentralization. Meanwhile, I'm still very, very bullish going forward on Odysee. It's just been trading sideways with only a $7 million market cap. And I think the potential, especially with the utilization of NFTs, which have been doing very well, it just needs media attention. It needs people to be talking about it to pick up. And that's why I'm talking about it, because I think it's a really good project that's honest, well audited, and I'm a believer in it. And it has just been sitting sideways. Now, in the pre-sale, it was about 0.75 of an ETH, and now it is somewhere, it's probably even around there right now. But I'm a believer that this could easily go up 100x, and it's one of those projects that, you know, I'm saying now, don't say I didn't warn you later on. This could very well be the case. It's such a low market cap and it's a good project, and you could look into it more on their site, and as well, you could get it on Uniswap very easily utilizing the MetaMask wallet. Anyway, I'll go into Odysee more in the future. I wanted to point out Doge, which we saw this massive move towards Doge recently, meme coins in general. Cointelegraph, after a remarkable run, social media sentiment sours on Doge. Americans carried the digital currency higher, but the enthusiasm may be waning. I would never put it past Doge to see $1. I would never even go there. It could hit $2, honestly. I sold all my Doge in 2017 for the most part, and the insane millions of dollars I would have made if I kept it, yeah, it's enough. It bothers me to some degree. But that's because I didn't have any faith in it, because it's stupid. Doge is stupid. The creators themselves say it's stupid. I've met the creators of Doge. They say it's stupid. It's just based on memeing and trolling and the newest generation, and then people like Elon Musk and Redditors, etc. And you know what? Good for them. They've been able to make a fortune off of it. And it's still way up considering where it was just a week or so ago. Of course, it failed on 420 to hit $1, which was, some people were trying to get it up to $4.20. I mean, there's market fundamentals, folks. There's only a certain amount of circulation versus the actual market cap. I mean, the amount of money that would have to go into it to get up to $4.20. Again, I don't put it past them in the future because only 1 to 2% of people on Earth use cryptocurrencies. Lots of room for adoption for all cryptos. But like, let's be realistic here. But again, it could happen in the next month or so. Who knows? Dogecoin, as you can see here, down to 23 cents, down 21.7% on the 24. And on the 7-day, it's still up 31.2%, but it hit 40 something cents. I think it was like 48 cents or something at one point, or 45 cents. The point is, it went way up, and people, I sold like way low and a bit higher, but still way lower, all the way up, because I'm like, this is stupid. There's no reason for this to be happening. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll put some faith in it hitting like $1 on 420, and that's when everyone got wiped out. And I think it was a publicity stunt by some institutional investors that got money into it and wanted to get out and not have a sell-off before they sold off, and hope to get one last pump out of it. Nonetheless, I'm still bullish long-term because it's stupid. There's no reason for it, but it keeps happening. And we should never second guess memes. Anyway, carrying on, there's Doge Swap. This is something that I've been watching fluctuate so rapidly, it's ridiculous. It just fell down to $50, and within the last hour is back up at $121. Like, not just the last hour, like I think a half an hour. It's so crazy. Like, this is the peak of pumping crazy things that only have $1.2 million in it. So I'm just going to put this forward right now, my friends, not encouraging anyone to pump anything. And this isn't investment advice, but I feel like we could do well if a bunch of us went on Uniswap and bought up this stuff right now, because we could be on the cusp of another big pump for Doge, and it could help make us some gains at the same time. But again, not investment advice, I'm not telling you to do anything, but I'm just saying, if you're watching this video, it might be an idea to get into this right now, because the gains could be ridiculous. It fell super low. At one point, it hit almost $1,000 a couple days ago, and now it's down around $121, and it was just at $50 like a half an hour ago. So again, risk, lots of risk, but also the potential gains for this, insane, absolutely insane. With $1.2 million in it, it makes no sense. The story behind it makes no sense. But with that said, everything that had Doge's face or a Shiba or an Akita on it blew up recently, and I anticipate it probably happening again. And then, of course, one that actually is good that I'm a big fan of, TrustSwap. And I've been talking about that for a little while now. Jeff Kurdakis. I am a believer that long-term this will be utilized by a lot of people and well adopted. So I'll go into TrustSwap more in the future. The point of this video, my friends, is it's not all bad. We see a big dip, but that doesn't necessarily mean the end. We need to see a massive bubble in the top 10 cryptos to the point where we're seeing 10x gains in a short amount of time, like we did in 2017. I think it went to 5,800 on October 15th, 2017, Bitcoin, that is. And then we watched it between then and December 18th go to $20,000. And that's like a ridiculous jump, and that becomes overvalued and it's not safe. That's where I would be getting into some like Tether and, holding there and watching it collapse and then buying up low. Again, not investment advice, all the legalities, blah, 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 but that's where I'm at. What I'm seeing right now is just a loss of some market fundamentals. We saw China had a huge power outage right during the top of the trading, which seemed to have an effect, and then it just kept going down from there. It tested lower supports, bottoms, and it just went right through there and down to the lower support. But again, for a lot of people, especially if you have like Pirate Chain, it's a good time to potentially put a little bit of profits at a Bitcoin low and then be able to get a lot more out of it later on. But anyway, that's just all my opinion. And again, the whole reason I talk about this is because I'm against the cashless society. I know people will say this ironic, and again, most of the comments on this video, especially on BitChute, I hate to say it, are going to be people attacking me for saying all this stuff, saying, oh, the cashless society because they didn't listen to the video. They're definitely not watching this part. And you can see those commenters. Please shame them, the ones below that are writing stuff about what I'm about to say because they didn't actually watch the video. Please go and shame them below. But the fact of the matter is, we have a blockchain that can, if centralized, enslave humanity, and then a blockchain, if decentralized, that can overthrow that which enslaves humanity. The same way that the banks would be holding all legal tender fiat, by law, by force. That's what fiat means. They'd be holding all of your currency through a bank account in a real centralized cashless society attached to social credit scores and technocracy. Whereas with cryptocurrencies, it's decentralized. I can't touch it. It's math. It's not hackable. Quantum computing isn't developing at the same speed as anti-quantum computing technology. There's nothing they could do about it. The only thing that could get you is the fluctuations and the crazy spirals up and down. This is where the alternative comes in. You have a way with privacy coins, especially, to avoid the social credit scores, to avoid the cashless society, to avoid them saying, if you don't get that vaccine, you can't have a bank account, you can't get paid, you can't have a job. Well, actually, through these privacy currencies that cannot be traced, cannot be tracked, you can. And magically, somehow there's food on your table. In fact, it might be a lot more than the people who got the vaccine, who are dealing with immunocompromised issues now at this point after getting the jab. Who are on the social credit score and working a bad job because they decided to give up their health in order to keep their job or the bank account so they could be tracked and taxed and whatever everywhere. So that's something, while we see a lot of people stupidly getting into things like Dogecoin, which obviously paid off for them, there's these other things that are actually utilized if utilized properly, can actually overthrow all these massive technocratic systems. You cannot just do an easy transaction with gold and silver anymore unless you use digital systems through banks or like things like BitGold or whatever, gold money with Peter Schiff, who makes a ton of profit off of all that in fiat. Though it's all cashless, and then he complains about crypto. It's amazing. But largely, you can't just do cross-border transactions like that, like you can with cryptocurrencies, which you can keep private and under the wraps and not tracked everywhere by government, and not utilizing government, regulated banks who do fractional reserve lending and print the currency out of existence and destroy the dollar and cause the price of living to skyrocket while you are holding on to something that makes everything deflationary in response to it, which is an amazing thing, which is honestly evolutionary, not revolutionary, no shots fired. It could seriously change everything we thought we knew about money. And that's why it's revolutionary. And of course, people are still going to write below, oh, it's the same as a cashless society. Well, they're not paying any attention then. Just because something's cashless doesn't mean it's part of the cashless society. You could use a gun to slaughter a whole bunch of innocent people, but you could use that same gun to save all those innocent people from being slaughtered. It's how it goes. You can use things for good and evil, decentralized or centralized. You decide. Anyway, I really appreciate everyone watching. We'll continue to keep up on this history in the making. Again, my picks right now: Pirate Chain, Trust Swap, and Ediswap. And of course, if you want to get into something fun and hugely risky, up to you guys. My opinion, not investment advice. Doge Swap. It's hilarious. It's stupid, but it could help, and it could honestly help make a lot of really good people a lot of money potentially, which could then carry over to the freedom community and the truth community and help us resist the tyranny that's based under the guise of convenience that we're seeing today. Hit the like button, share on social media, hit the notification bell. We're, of course, on BitChute, we're on Odysee, we're on flote.app, that's flote.app. Of course, we're on Rumble and the bad guys, Twitter at World Alt Media, and Instagram at World Alternative Media. You could join our newsletter at www.iamband.com. Takes 2 seconds. Just put your email address in. It doesn't cost anything, and we won't spam you. On top of that, you can also fund us with Bitcoin. We have a Bitcoin address, help keep independent media alive. We have a Cointree link, which gives you a bunch of different cryptocurrencies that you can donate in, including privacy coins if you want to, help keep independent media alive. Of course, we have a PayPal, we have a Teespring store, and of course, we have Go Get Funding, Patreon, and Subscribestar. So I really appreciate any of the help we can accumulate here in order to help us win this information war against these censorship giants, these conglomerates propped up by the state and the centralized cashless society racket and technocracy, the Chinese style system that they are pushing forward everywhere. Of course, we are also doing NFTs, so you can find some of our NFTs on Rarible, linked below, and we'll do more on Wax soon because people have been asking for it. And anyway, I appreciate everyone watching today. We will get back at you with much more on all of this insanity that we're facing all around the world. Until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.